Imagine burning alive in the sky, at 3,000 feet, with a parachute strapped just a few feet away in a warehouse back on the ground. That was the reality for almost every fighter pilot in World War I. Not because parachutes didn't exist. They did. Balloon observers were already using them successfully to jump from burning observation balloons. The technology worked. Pilots just weren't allowed to have it. The reasoning from military commanders was almost unbelievable. They worried that if pilots had an easy way to escape a damaged plane, they'd abandon expensive aircraft too quickly instead of trying to save them, or worse, bail out of a fight the moment things got difficult. In their eyes, a parachute wasn't a life-saving tool. It was a temptation to cowardice. So instead, pilots were sent up with strict orders to go down with their planes, no matter what happened. There were practical excuses too. Early parachutes were bulky and heavy, and cockpits in these fragile wooden planes were already cramped. Commanders argued the extra weight would hurt performance in a dogfight, but the truth is, several air forces had already tested lighter, functional designs. The technology to save these pilots existed years before the war ended. By 1918, Germany finally began issuing parachutes to their pilots, and the results were immediate. Pilots who would have burned to death or fallen thousands of feet were suddenly surviving. But for Britain and France, that same life-saving decision came far too late, and far too slowly, and thousands of pilots who could have lived simply didn't. It's one of the most haunting decisions of the entire war. Not a battlefield failure, a choice. Follow for the next story. Command left out of the history books.